going to an Avatar pre-release and you have no idea what's going on? My name is Waffles, and I'm here to give you a last-minute explanation for the Magic the Gathering Avatar pre-release. This video is going to go fast so that new players and veterans alike can get what they need. Timestamps will be on screen now if you want to skip around. And for those who need a quick refresh, a pre-release is a best-of-3 Swiss tournament where you open 6 packs of the set, build a 40-card deck, and compete to be the best in your game store. For this pre-release, each Avatar kit will have 5 regular packs and 1 seeded pack based on which kit you have. The pack that you get will be related to which character is on the front of your box, along with a themed 20-sided dice. As you open packs, most stores are going to give you 50 minutes to sort and build your deck. Use this time to find cards you like, build your strategy, and fine-tune. If you're unsure of how to build, asking someone who works at the store or is sitting nearby can often help you out. Enough of the boring stuff, let's talk mechanics. There's both new and returning mechanics in Avatar. Most obvious is the new bending types, but let's cover it all. Air bending allows you to exile a card. Then, the owner of that card can recast that card by paying 2 colorless mana. You can use this mechanic to trigger enter the battlefield effects, or have it function as temporary removal. Water bending allows you to pay mana costs for spells or abilities by tapping creatures or artifacts. You can also just choose to pay the generic mana costs. Usually for your water bending abilities, you'll gain an immense benefit for paying the cost, such as Secret of Blood bending that allows you to control an opponent's turn if you pay the water bending cost. Earth bending allows you to make lands into creatures that can attack. Then if your land creature would leave the battlefield, it instead returns to the battlefield tapped. Whenever that land becomes a creature, it becomes unable to tap for mana, so this can be a risky mechanic, but it can also have a huge payoff. But the last kind of bending, fire bending, adds red mana during your combat phase that is lost immediately afterwards. You can use this red mana to activate abilities or cast spells. It's definitely the simplest of these mechanics, but it's weak by no means. As for other mechanics to take note of, lesson cards make a return. These cards aren't much different from other instants of sorceries, rather they just synergize with other cards, such as this Aang card that gives him lifelink until end of turn. Clue tokens are also returning. You can spend 2 mana to sacrifice the artifact and then draw a card. This benefits archetypes that want you to draw more than 1 card in a single turn. More on that in the next section. In my personal opinion, some types of bending are better than others. I really think that earth bending and fire bending are going to be some of the abilities that clear pre-releases. And there are a few other mechanics in this set, but I don't think they're worth covering in this video. Now I want to quickly go over each archetype. There are 10 in total, each being a 2-color pair. I'm going to go over the uncommons you should be searching for, the best commons, and best removal for each archetype. Again, I'm going to go as quick as I can, so feel free to rewind or take screenshots. The white and blue archetype is all about flyers. Air Nomad Legacy represents this color pair by buffing up any flying creatures you might have. You'll want to have small flyers that deal chip damage over time for this game plan. The blue and black archetype is all about drawing lots of cards and benefiting from doing so. Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper is going to be your signpost, and it benefits like crazy from clue tokens. Make sure you have plenty of ways to draw 2 cards. The black and red archetype is all about firebending and attacking. Cruel Administrator is a good showcase of everything this deck wants to do. Attack fast, early, and often. You'll definitely want lots of removal for this deck as well. The red and green archetype is all about earthbending and power over 4. Bitter Work shows off this idea pretty well. Basically, you want plenty of land to earthbend and lots of benefits when you do so. The green and white archetype is about getting as many ally creatures on the field as possible. While this strategy is about ally tokens mostly, the signpost is White Lotus Reinforcements, which buffs up ally cards and tokens. The white and black archetype is all about sacrificing creatures and artifacts for benefit. Toll of War creates a clue token that you can sacrifice for card draw and an ally token. Plenty of other cards you can sacrifice for benefit too. Decently similar in the previous archetype in wanting a large board state. The blue and red archetype is all about attacking with lesson cards. Dragonfly Swarm is the signpost that benefits from each lesson card that you cast. This archetype's gonna want some firebending and plenty of instants to cast with that mana. The black and green archetype is all about earthbending and 1/1 counters. Daily Agents shows off this concept pretty well. You'll definitely want to have some earthbended creatures and have lots of ways to either defend or block. A very control-oriented deck. The red and white archetype is pretty similar to the green and white archetype. You'll want lots of creatures that you'll want to attack with often. Sun Warriors shows off some firebending and also makes extra creatures. Make sure you've got some synergies for allies here as well. Last up is the green and blue archetype, which is all about ramp and lessons. Pretty similar to the red and blue archetype, but wanting to cast some bigger spells. Hermitic Herbalist is the signpost that mana dorks for lessons or any other mana. If you care about winning, you should only build archetypes that you can support. That should be obvious, but sometimes it isn't in the moment. Being stuck on one archetype you want to play can make it hard to find what you should play. But that's all for the deck building conversation, which I'm going to get into right now. Deck building is the second most important part of your pre-release. The first being how you pilot your deck, but there's a limited level ups video about that. For a pre-release, you're going to want to build a 40-card deck. And for your deck, I strictly recommend 17 lands if you're running exactly 40 cards. The cards you put into your deck should support the archetype that you want to play. If you have any rare or mythic cards, you should absolutely put those into your deck. They're usually the strongest cards you're going to have. And for those unaware, a card's rarity is in the bottom left of that card. When opening your packs, I recommend sorting your cards into 8 different categories: white, blue, black, red, green, multicolored, colorless, and lands. After sorting all of your cards into these piles, I recommend making 2 extra piles, one for all of your rare cards and one for all of your mythic cards. If you don't get any of the signposts you need, these can tell you what archetype you might want to focus on. And that's all I've got for this last minute pre-release guide. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please go out and win some games.